don't know how many of y'all up, but I figured if y'all up, y'all can join in on the conversation. We just sitting up here chatting, late night with your boy B and your boy D.
What's up?
And your boy Beans. We in here chilling in the Bay Area, hanging out, man. Ain't got nothing going on. Y'all probably knocked out sleep. But I want to ask y'all a question. What I was talking to him is just like, this is what it's about, just like dreaming. Let me see, turn it back around. Just dreaming, late night dreaming. And so I was asking him, what is he going to do? Like, he going to potentially bring in about 50 on the deal, his cut, 50 grand. And I was asking, like, what are you going to do? So I want to know, like, from y'all, what would y'all do if you, like this, I call him a kid, he's 28 years old, and he's about to make $50,000. Look at him. Just young, dumb, full of con. No. He's going to make $50,000 in less than 4 days with me. And I asked him what he's going to do with the money. And the thing about it that I think is the biggest answer is that, you know, he didn't hesitate. Like a lot of people, I know this, let me turn back around to me. A lot of people say, man, I want the money, I want money, but have no clue what you're going to do with it. And then the other thing is the activity. Like the activity that it takes, the massive amount of activity. So when it's like I think it's a scripture that says, to whom much is given, much is required. So when you ask for this money, you got to know that your body is about to go into overload work mode. You're going to really go hard in the paint to get it. So what are you going to do with the money, man, when you get it? What are you going to do? You make $50,000 in 3-4 days. What are you going to do with it? And so that's like 200 grand every month, 50 grand a week, 50 grand a week. 200 grand. So like if you had a check coming to you every single week for 50 grand, doing the same activity that we did, you know, this week, what would you do with 50 grand every week? What are some of the things you do? All right, you only got so many bills. You're going to pay off bills, all that crap. You're going to travel. There's only so many places you're going to go. But then what? The one thing that somebody asked me when I was 21 years old, Denson Taylor, look him up. He's a great guy. He was one of my first financial mentors in business. But the question that he asked me that I want to ask you all is if money wasn't an object, what would you do with your time? That was a valuable question because a lot of people don't really get a chance to really ponder on that question. I want you to ponder on that before you go to bed tonight. Like, what would you do if money wasn't even an object for you? You could do anything that you want on a daily basis. And I want you to understand, like, I'm talking about ongoing for the rest of your life. So get the travel out your way. I'm going to travel. Okay, you know, you're going to blow that vessel out. You're going to travel. I'm going to go shopping, all that stuff. You're going to do it. Then what? Like, so this allows the person, the inner person, to truly discover their passion. And so one of my things was, I'm walking in mine right now, like seeing this, I call him a kid. I'm 37. It's like I'm an old man. This kid here, to be able to, you know, see a kid like him, you know, put in the work, visualize, do all the things that's necessary, and then get a nice big fat check, right? That's what I love seeing. It's like my success is buried in other people's success. I love seeing people win. Like, you know, when I get testimonials every day and people post their checks, you know, like we had one of our students who signed up for our course a while back. He made 28 grand from techniques and free mediums that we teach. 28 grand. And I'm talking about life-changing money, man. I'm not talking about money that, you know, oh, you're able to pay a bill. You know, I'm talking about money that, like, in Memphis, where I come from, the average income is $2,000 a month. Now, I know some people may laugh at that, but $2,000 a month is the average income. And, you know, to be able to show people how to make, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 grand in a month's time. I was talking about this, like, let me see. To make, $20,000 a month. That's $240,000 a year. That's $2.4 million in 10 years. That's like $7.2 million in 30 years. The average person in Memphis, where I come from, that makes $2,000 a month, let's just round up and say that they make $5,000 a month, right? Let's go above the numbers. Make $5,000 a month, that's $60,000 a year. That's $600,000 in 10 years. That's $1.8 million in 30 years. So the thing is, what we're doing is we're showing people how to fast forward their financial success in a matter of days, in a matter of weeks, in a matter of months. And we're condensing, this is what I was taught to do when I was 21. We're condensing 30 years of working on the job into, I would say, 2 to 3 years of grinding to never have to work for money again, to never have to look back and to get a job as an option. And that's what I did. When I was 21, I worked my butt off for 3 years so that I would never have to work a job again. There's nothing wrong if you have to work a job to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. Just know that you're progressing. And so I worked hard. I didn't party. I didn't hang out. I was laser focused. While I was working, I didn't sleep around. I was 21, could have slept with anybody I wanted to at that age during that time, but I was laser focused on my goals. And so I know a lot of young men, a lot of times we get distracted, man. Like, you get women coming at you, men and women, you get guys coming at you, and you lose focus, So if you can it's called sexual transmutation. And if you can just transmute that energy, there's a chapter in the book, Think and Grow Rich. There's a chapter in the book called Think and Grow Rich. And it talks about that, how the majority of successful people, it talks about Abraham Lincoln and all of these highly successful people are very highly sex-natured people. But it talks about how sex, this is not a bad thing. It's not a intense conversation like that. But it talks about how sex is the most powerful force on the universe. But when used to manifest goals, as opposed to being only an outlet to release energy through, the vessel in your pelvic area, you can literally manifest hundreds of millions of dollars. So sexual transmutation, you need to read that book, Think and Grow Rich. And you can just go straight to that chapter, sexual transmutation. And what you're able to do is the same power, force that comes out. It's an emotional force. It's released through rhythmic frequency, like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, the rhythm of the frequency. And the same way you have that same rhythm, when you're having sex, you have that rhythm and vision. And what you're doing is you're wanting to connect with the feeling of your vision. Okay. So you're constantly thinking about the same vision, the same thought over and over again until you have an orgasmic release in your mind, an explosion in your mind of relief, of excitement. And you have that relief and that excitement so much that you no longer need to desire the thing that you once wanted so bad. Meaning, if you wanted something material, you rhythmically think about it over and over and over again until you catch the feeling of actually having it in your possession now. And then you release it. You release the desire. So now you no longer look for it. And it's something magical about this universe that allows you to, when you have that mental orgasm, you're able to transmute the same sexual energy, the same sexual drive. That's why they say most men aren't successful to age, 45 to 50, because they lose the ability to, have sex with their, physical part as opposed. So now they're forced to have mental sexual transmutation, because a lot of them lose the ability to, sleep around or whatever the case may be. And so most men don't experience success until their latter 40s, some 50s, some never, right? And but if you learn how to use that to your will, the universe will bend to your will. And of course, you keep, so it's nothing wrong with having those, desires. But when you learn how to utilize that information, that power, it is literally life altering. And I would say, so this is a message to young men and women that are coming up, man. You guys are the future. I know I'm not that much older than y'all. I'm 37, man. I feel like I'm 16. But I'm telling you, if you guys learn how to take that power, that universal power, that life creating power, and use it wisely, use it in a way that is going to serve you and not hinder you, you guys are going to win big. So what would you do? I mean, you guys can answer that. What would you do if you were earning $50,000 a week? Now, I'll show you the blueprint on, what you need to do with real estate. I mean, the thing is, many of you know, like, real estate is just one medium, man. I'm omnipresent as omnipresent can be. I have hundreds of businesses, hundreds of streams. An idea is money to me. I say the universe is my bank account, and an idea is the ATM, and me executing the idea is me withdrawing the money. So I have an unlimited bank account. You have an unlimited bank account, but you have to know how to make your withdrawals. You make your withdrawals through executing ideas. I don't want to execute an idea tomorrow. If I have an inspired thought, I want to execute an idea today. And so it's never tomorrow, it's always right now. And so when you learn how to, put your ideas into action, put your ideas into motion, right now, you're going to notice that your world begins to change, because now you're not procrastinating. You're not waiting on something to happen. Some people say it has to be perfect. I remember me and Maria, when we would, build businesses, and I would get an idea and I would slap up a website. The website would look like shit, like the website would be horrible. And I would be like, man, I'm going to put this website out here anyway, and I'm going to make some money. And she's like, but the colors are orange and purple and green. I'm like, you know what? This website, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. The person that's looking for this information, they're going to see it. They're going to, fill it out, and they're going to pay some money, etc. So I would put out a website. If I had an idea, I'm going to put it out there to the world. And sure enough, people start coming in. And you know what? As the money came in, I invest in making myself better, making my business better, making my site better. But the thing about it is, it's not going to be perfect. Here's another tip to you. Like, you're not going to know the freaking how. You're not going to know how to do this stuff. Like, when you have an idea, you got to take steps for the how to come to you. You got to take steps for what I'm saying is, you got to put your analytical side to the back seat. What are people going to think? Nobody really cares. You know what people think? People think like, who's going to help me? Who's going to be my solution? So when you have an idea, you got to understand that the universe is giving you a solution to somebody's problem that's been calling. So you got to think about how the universe works. It's so omnipresent to where when somebody calls or prays, whatever you want to call it, about their problem, they're crying out to their universe, their God, whatever the case may be. And the same God is answering it through somebody who has inspired thought. That's not in the same realm or vortex of the other person, but that's within the means of being able to provide the solution. So now the same God is answering the prayer through somebody. Now, if you don't execute your idea, I have a lot of people say, man, this person took my idea. I don't want to talk about it because this person's going to take my idea. Well, let me tell you something. If you don't execute it, if you were chosen as the vessel to have an idea come to life in this realm, and you don't execute it, that idea is going to go through somebody else. It's never your idea. Nothing is yours. Your house isn't yours. You're passing through it. Your car isn't yours. Your money isn't yours. Everything, you're passing through it. So a lot of people give so much attachment to this material stuff. And it's like you're just using it all. So when you have these ideas come to you, you got to execute these ideas, and knowing that the faster you execute them, the faster that you can make your withdrawal from the universal bank. And so that's one big major key that I can tell you. So don't wait, like the procrastination. And so many people that I've met with, that I got thousands of students, and when you train them, they analyze so much. And it's just like, just take steps. You're not going to know everything. Like, stop trying to think. It's not like school. I feel like there's a reprogramming that we had with school. The great thing about this is I wasn't the smartest guy in the schools. I was like a C, B student. I wasn't the straight A kid, and I would cheat off people's papers. Period, point blank. Like, I would look out, Emily Trotter, if you watching this, I would try to cheat off your paper all the time. And and anybody else who has straight A's, I was trying to look over your shoulder, period. I'm going to tell you something. And if you tried to cover your paper, I wanted to smack you in the back of your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just 100, it's like, but I'm going to tell you something. Here's the thing about that. The reality is, in the business world, you have to cheat off of entrepreneurs' papers. You have to cheat off the best. You can't, so like, just imagine if the people who made it wouldn't let you look at what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine if you want to learn how to do real estate, imagine if I didn't want to share this. Right, go ahead. Hold on, let me let the guru speak. Hold on.
It's not copying if you copy the right cat.
Hey, Marcus is slick. Yeah, get it with that Memphis pimping. It's not copying if you're copying the right cat. It's not copying if you copying the right cat, man. And I'm telling you something, man. That's real talk. Like, you talk like you can't cheat off people's papers. So you got this stuff embedded in your brain. You're not supposed to look off people's papers. You're supposed to know all this stuff by yourself. So you get into this freaking real world.
I'm copying the right cat.
Right. You're copying the right cat, man. You get into this real world, and you in this real world, man. And then you scared to look off the paper. You scared to ask for help. Like me. In a test, if I don't know the answer, hey, Pimpin, look here. What's the answer to number 5? I'm going to ask questions. And so in this world, man, you got to start asking questions, man. You got a lot of people like myself, a lot of mentors, a lot of gurus that are out here pouring in information, giving out information for free, over-delivering on value. And, you got to ask them questions when they give this time back. And you know why I do it? Is because I do my best to be an open vessel every day, because I know the power of being open. And if I'm open, then that means that the flow is going to continue to go. And so I give so that I can release this information out of my conscious mind so that I can get more information in. So, ask your questions as these mentors come on. And then the other thing I want to talk to you about is leveling up and understanding, like, in order to get to the next level of anything, after you get out of high school, you typically have to pay for education. The thing is, they say you have to have a continued education in life, so they tell you to go to college. But it's not just about college. When you get out of college, you got to continue your education. If you want to grow to the next level, guess what? You got to pay for the next, but you've been tricked to believe that you got to pay for information to institutions. But you know who you should be paying for? The people who you want to be like in business. You got to pay for the information. So me, I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in mentorship. Like, I'm doing this mentoring, touring, around the country for the last 4 months, and I'm cutting it off in June. Well, guess what? I'm finna pay so that I can get refilled up. I pay hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for my mentoring so that I can level up to the next level. And you know what? Sometimes it's like, dang, man, they finna bust my head. But I release that mindset, and I'm like, you know what? It's going to stretch me. If I pay this $200,000 for knowledge, then I'm looking to make $200 million from the knowledge. Whatever the case may be. If you're paying $20,000 for information, you should retain that information, execute that information, and it should bring you well above the value of what you paid for. So you got to understand that in order to get to the next level, you got to pay for that access. Marcus is sitting here right now. People pay us a lot of money, but he did too, but look at the access. Look at what just happened in a week's time frame. Not only what happened in the week, because everybody's not going to experience the same success, But the main thing is now he knows the patterns. He knows the fun we have. He knows the work ethic we have. He knows the mindset we have. He knows the fuel we have. He knows all of the things that it takes to experience success. And you know what? Some shit you may not like. You know, like, you know what? I thought I wanted this. I don't want it that way. I would rather do it this way. So we give you different realms of opportunities that you could, you know, put in place for yourself. And it's about being around that. If you want to be something, find somebody that's doing. That's the quickest way to success. Find somebody that's doing what you want to do and pay them to teach you. Like, just like you would do. That's the quickest way. I can't even think of no other way.
I was tired of bumping my
Hold on. Sell what now?
I was tired of bumping my head, so I called you.
That's it, man. That's it. You know, and then you know what? The other thing is, it's stuff in this world, you know, that you're an expert at, that you know, like that. I'm sure there's something that you're an expert at that I don't know, right? And if I wanted to know, guess what? I will call you because you're expert. Everybody has their expertise.
Because it shortens the learning curve.
Exactly. If it got to take you, you know, months. If you're trying to learn something and it's taking you months to learn it, and you could have just paid for access to get it in a couple hours, look at that. Money loves speed. In this economy, if it's taking you more than some people going to school for 4 years, that is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard, to get 1 degree. If it takes you 4 years to learn anything, you will become extinct in this economy. You will not exist in this economy. You're going to have circles ran around you in this economy. You're going to starve to death if it takes you 4 years to learn. You need to be learning every single day something new, something to grow yourself, something to better yourself, something to expand your business, something to expand your mind. And if it's taking you 4 years to do that, guys, get out of that mindset and don't put your children in that mindset. It doesn't take 4 years to learn anything. Most of the stuff that you're doing right now, you're doing because it's a habit. You're not doing it because it's the right thing to do. And understand that the only thing that's constant is change, man. So we're teaching 1990 habits in a 2050 economy.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
1990 habits. Go to school, get a good education so that you can get out and work a job for the next 30 years. You know daggone well that these jobs are not going to be. Believe it or not, some of y'all, you know, haven't really, you know, probably experienced this, but there's a lot of artificial intelligence that's controlling our day-to-day lives, and we don't even realize it. Artificial intelligent robots are actually interacting with you on a daily basis, whether it's from the computer or in person. Ubers are driving you that are actually artificially intelligent. They told you that it's going to be Uber cars driving themselves, but they've already implanted the person, the robot, that's as the artificial intelligence, and you think it's a human. Now, think about that. That's what world you're living in right now. The artificial intelligence is already existing. And so what I'm saying is opportunities are going away from the human perspective in that aspect. And you're going to have to become more creative. The great thing that you have over artificial intelligence is that you have consciousness and that you can create. And the fact that you can create, that's your gift. They can never outdo your state of consciousness. And so you're always